Access granted. Access granted.
We're working as fast as we can. This pressure you're putting on us doesn't help, you know. Just let us do our job, please. There's no need to always be looking over our shoulders and pointing guns at the backs of our heads. Just let us do our job, please. There's no need to always be looking over our shoulders and pointing guns at the backs of our heads.
You don't look like the other security people. Did they call you in to deal with the smugglers? I know they've tried to enter the ranch before. You look like you could handle all of the compound security on your own. You're probably equipped with some of the projects we're working on, right? You look like you could handle all of the compound security on your own.
What do you want? I told you people not to barge in here. Wasn't the new biochip design enough?
Dr. Koss, I'm here to get you out.
Jensen? From Sarif? But we were told we'd been written off.
Not exactly.
Listen, Jensen. They forced me to work for them. I didn't want to create the new biochip, especially since it was based on Sarif's research, but they didn't give me a choice.
No one doubts your loyalty, Dr. Koss. Do you know what they plan to do with this new biochip?
I'm not sure. They said something about having Tai Young Medical produce it and distribute it through Lim, but I can't be sure.
I know, and I'm here to bring you all back. But to reach Megan, I need you, Colvin, and Faraday to stage lab accidents as a distraction, simultaneously.
Isn't that a little risky? Besides, how will we coordinate these accidents? It's impossible.
Maybe not. But it's that or staying here and eventually ending up like Dr. Sevchenko.
They killed him, didn't they? He kept provoking them, coming up with these wild escape plans. They try to keep us apart as much as possible now. All right, Mr. Jensen. I'm with you. What's our next move?
We need to disable their GPL tracker. I know Dr. Sevchenko was working on something.
Yes, a virus program. We all thought it was too risky considering we had nowhere to go. But I don't have it. You'd better check with Mia or Declan.
Dr. Koss, the biochip you mentioned was based on Sarif studies?
Yes, I believe so. At first I thought it was merely convergent research, but I've worked with Dr. Reed long enough to recognize her handiwork. Besides, I had been working on something similar back in Detroit.
And your knowledge of it made you invaluable here.
At least to a certain extent, it probably helped us all stay alive. But now with Dr. Shevchenko, I guess we've all become expendable. Except for Dr. Reed, I suppose.
Why do you say that?
It's more of a general feeling, I guess. Back in Detroit, we all realized that we were on the verge of something groundbreaking. And here, well, everyone seems to view her research as crucial in some way.
That might explain why she's being held in a secured area.
Possibly. I'm just glad we're going home. It's kind of hard to believe.
Declan, right. Dr. Koss, do you have any idea where they're keeping him?
I might. I overheard some of the guards. I think he might be working in the basement of the biomech labs. But I'm not sure.
Sit tight, Dr. Koss. When you feel a vibration from your GPL, set off that distraction. That'll be the signal.
I will. Good luck, Mr. Jensen. And hurry.
I know security seems high, but they're only here for our protection. A lot of people would kill for the technology we're developing. In a way, I feel really lucky to be here. When this is all done, we'll have changed the world.
This isolation has really allowed me to concentrate. Plus, the facilities are second to none. I know it sounds strange, but I'd rather be here than back home.
Wow. I didn't think they'd let you guys out of the high security area. We'd heard that a lot of the subjects weren't doing so well. But you're looking healthy. I don't think I'd have the balls to let myself be experimented on. But we seem to have no shortage of volunteers.
Someone hiding over there? Over there! Where are you off to? I see you.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
You must have done something, Jensen. 4 of our GPL signals just popped up, including yours. Koss, Colvin, Faraday. I'm not picking up Dr. Reed.
Send me the coordinates you do have. And Pritchard, tell Sarif.
I can't. While you were incommunicado, Mr. Darrow invited him, Bill Taggart, and the UN delegates to Panchaea. They're halfway to the Arctic by now.
Great.
Access granted. Access granted.
No one's supposed to be here. Which is designed to stop global warming. And on the other hand, you have these weather machines out in Alaska that are firing millions of watts into our stratosphere and causing mass destruction across the globe. Now, followers, do I have to spell this one out for you? You do see how one serves the other, right? The more tsunamis, earthquakes, and hurricanes that are created by these man-made weather machines, the greater need for visionaries like Darrow to come out of thin air and say, I'm here to save the world. I just need more money. More money! I've always told you, followers, just follow the money. This time the money is in the entire West Coast collapsing into the Pacific. Not to mention hitting a home run for the Council of Five's depopulation plan. They've been talking about this one for years, so instead of waiting for it to happen, they'll just make it happen. This is how things go down in the world these days, followers.
Access granted.
Adam? Adam Jensen? Good grief, lad. What the blazes happened to you?
I made the mistake of surviving. I'm here to get you out, Dr. Faraday.
I told Vasily that Seraph wouldn't stop looking.
Sevchenko's dead, Dr. Faraday. I'm sorry.
I figured as much. One day he was just gone, and they wouldn't say why. We were all afraid, so we just kept to the work. They forced me to create a signal pattern that could broadcast software upgrades directly into a person's implanted circuitry.
Upgrades? That do what?
Whatever instructions have been encoded into them. They said it was to improve efficiency at clinics, but that wouldn't be the only application. Far from it.
I see. Dr. Faraday, we need to free Megan from the isolation zone. I've got a plan to distract the guards. 3 lab accidents.
I like your style, son. And it just might work if you can get Nia and Eric to agree. But timing them to occur at once, that will be the trick.
I'll worry about the timing. For now, sit tight and wait for my signal.
There's one thing you're forgetting, lad. They can track our GPL signals.
I know. But I'm hoping you might have the solution to that problem. Sevchenko's viral program.
Of course! I shouldn't have underestimated you. Vasily gave it to me before he disappeared. Here you are. Upload it onto the central security computer. It will scramble their scanners. I would have done it myself, but I'm just a scientist.
Don't sell yourself short, Doc. Any idea who's behind this, Doc? The kidnapping, the facility?
Not really. Remarkable considering I've been here 6 months. You would have thought someone would let something slip. But if it doesn't have to do with the research, you don't get a word out of them.
Sounds like the guards are well trained. But what kind of threats were needed to stop the other researchers from talking?
Well, there were threats early on just to get us to work. Of course, Vasily saw right through that. Kept saying they needed us. I suppose in his case, the risk outstripped the return at some point. Damn them.
Dr. Sevchenko probably knew the risks and accepted them.
That he did. Go on, lad. Let's put this plan of yours into action. It's time to teach these wankers a lesson.
Tell me, where do I find this security terminal?
Vasily told me there's a tunnel leading to it, near the back of the compound, I believe. But I'm afraid you'll have to explore a bit to be sure.
Once I upload the virus, it'll be time to act. I'll signal you. A vibration in your GPL. Be ready.
Understood, lad. But do be careful.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
Pritchard, are you still tracking the scientists?
Of course.
Simulate feedback along that route. Make it strong enough to vibrate their implants. They have to feel it.
A signal, eh? Not bad, Jensen. I'm sending it now.
Your tenacity, Adam Jensen, is really quite irritating. We'd like you to stop now.
I'm afraid I can't, Zhao. You see, I figured it out. I know what you and your conspiracy buddies are planning.
Do you? How clever.
A new biochip. A software upgrade that limits what augmentations can do. You're creating a kill switch. You kidnapped Megan Reed's team to do it, and you're seizing control of the market to ensure it gets distributed. All because you're afraid of people like me. Augmented people, with the power to resist you.
No one's afraid of you, Mr. Jensen. All your blundering around and childish interference hasn't stopped a thing. Tell me, have you been to a limb clinic lately?
Let me guess. That was supposed to shut me down, right? Leave me broken and begging?
The Augs were recalled. You should be offline!
Women never fail to underestimate men.
You should have stayed dead, Jensen. But even I have orders to follow. And you're off limits. Behind you, Jensen. Will you lose your nerve, Jensen, now that the end is near? How does it feel, Jensen? Right over here, my friend. Come get me. How can a man be so cruel? This has been a long time coming. You should have died the first time. Will you lose your nerve, Jensen, now that the end is near? Look at you, jumping in shadows like a scared child. Do you realize how hopeless this is? So stubborn. You should have given up this chase. this? To be honest. Finish it.
Not until you tell me where Megan is.
You've lost her, Jensen. Men like us, we never get back the things we love.
Jaren, is that you?
Not exactly.
Adam? Oh my god, Adam! It's you. You're hurt. What happened?
What happened to you? I risked my life for you, Megan. I came halfway around the world, and for what?
It's not what you think.
Are you part of this?
No! No, Adam, I swear it! The kidnapping was real. The attack on Seraph Industries, they came after me. They wanted my research.
And when did you decide they could have it?
It didn't happen like that. I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't. I couldn't! And then David said we had to use it. We owed it to mankind.
David? What are you talking about?
My great discovery. The genetic framework I found that makes it easier for living tissue to bond with implants. I found it. In you, Adam. I used your DNA. I wanted to tell you, I swear. But David convinced me what it could mean for mankind. How much better off we could all be. It took Hugh to make me see how wrong I was.
Hugh? Hugh Darrow.
He owns this facility. After Namir brought us here...
Richard! Patch me into Seraph, now!
Adam, please! He was only pretending to work with Tai Young and the others. He found out what they were planning to do and told them he would help. But only to make sure they never succeeded. Their control signal won't work.
Thank you, David. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sarif here has asked me to show the world how human enhancement technology can change it. After careful deliberation, I've decided I must do exactly that. Forgive me.
Oh god. He's modified the control signal. Anyone with the new biochip will be affected. You never said anything about this.
I'm going back for the scientists.
No, Adam! I know the complex better than you. I'll find them. There's a hangar bay through there. Get to its control room and retract the roof. Clear a path for us.
Access granted. Access granted.
Jensen, what the hell's going on out there? Broadcast frequencies are going haywire.
Malik, is that you? Where are you?
Coming into visual range of Singapore now. Been in the air since Pritchard first pinged you.
Good timing. I'm heading for a hangar bay to open the roof. I'll need an emergency extraction.
Roger that. I'm on my way. Hey, Jensen! Looks like you could use some help! I see the scientist, Jensen. I'm landing nearby. And I think Dr. Reed wants to speak to you. Hang on.
Hello? Adam? We're all fine, but you have to get to Panchaea and stop Hugh.
You and I aren't done with this, Megan.
I know how it looks, but you have to stop the broadcast. I think it's causing the new biochips to overstimulate the vagus nerve, creating terrifying hallucinations.
You mean it's driving augmented people insane?
Yes, and it's up to you to stop it. Use the Leo shuttle. It will take you to Panchaea. Good luck, Adam.
Automated systems online. Darrow sequence 1, code 1, 1A, preset and ready to engage. Suborbital trajectory plotted. Destination Panchaea. Begin countdown, Mr. Darrow.
Begin countdown.
Code 000. Confirm 0. Countdown commencing. Electrodynamic launch assist sequence commencing.
Jensen, can you read me?
Barely. I've reached Panchaea, Pritchard. Any word from Sarah for the UN delegates?
Nothing. The installation went into lockdown shortly after Darrow gave his speech. I can't tell if anyone's even alive. And the signal's still broadcasting.
Meaning no one's safe till I get in there and shut it down.
You'll have to disengage the lockdown first. Look for a master control panel at the top of the tower.
Pritchard, Panchea's broadcast center is at the base of the station near the bottom of the ocean. Is that right?
But the lockdown caused all the blast doors to seal. You won't be able to go down until you override them manually.
From up in the tower. I got it.
Okay, I need a plan. When we go in, and I'm gonna take him from the outside, and then we'll be able to get him out. Because I don't want it like that. It's out. Okay, I hear.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
I don't think you want to do that, Mr. Jensen. Disengage lockdown, and whatever demons this station contains are likely to come crashing out on us.
Afraid to die, Darrow? Or just unwilling to face what you've done?
Oh, I know what I've done, believe me. I take no pleasure in it.
And yet you still did it.
I did what had to be done. 20 years ago, I gave the world augmentation technology. I thought I was giving it a bright future, but instead I gave it the means to destroy itself. No law, no UN regulation was going to fix that.
People are dying out there. Hundreds of thousands of people driven to the brink of insanity because of you.
I had to convince the world. Before today, people believed we should steal fire from the gods and redesign human nature. Human nature is the only thing we have that gives us a moral compass and the social skills we need to live in peace. Destroy it, and you destroy our very species.
Don't paint yourself a savior in this. What you're doing is insane.
Is it? When this is done, the Illuminati won't be able to control men and women like you as they had planned, from the inside out. No one will be able to use the technology I invented to make others into beings they desire. Something we both know has happened already.
You think you're Frankenstein? Killing his own monster?
Actually, Mr. Jensen, I prefer to think of myself as Daedalus, watching helplessly as his child crashes into the sea.
I'm ending this. Now.
You can't. The signal is being generated from the broadcast center at the base of this facility. Panchea's security system has been programmed to protect it, and will kill you before you even get close.
You designed that system, Darrow. You can tell me how to shut it down.
But I won't. You think what I'm doing is extreme. You simply don't understand. For humanity to survive beyond this century, it must abandon ill-conceived notions about transcendence and embrace change. But for that to happen, the hard lesson must be learned. Blood must be shed.
You think humanity needs to be punished? Is that it? Pain is the only thing people understand? By the time this is over, there will be no humanity left to embrace your change. The stress and horror you forced us to live through will have ripped it out of us.
I knew there would be casualties, but I thought, over time, surely the human spirit can recover. History has shown us again and again that the human race is hidebound and governed by inertia. As a society, as a species, the only way to elicit any kind of reaction from it is through an act of tragedy, a horrible cataclysm. I regret what I have been forced to do, but given what I know about mankind and the dangers facing us, this was the only viable choice. Nothing more to say, Mr. Jensen?
You want us to see what you see. Fine. Our humanity is threatened because technology is messing with our minds. But how can we recognize this message when we're grieving over the people you forced us to leave behind? Friends and neighbors, people we care about. Is the image of their murders the vision you want us to have?
Of course it isn't. I don't want to be remembered as a monster. Don't you see? I created people like you. I made it possible for you to happen. If fate had dealt me a different hand, then perhaps neither of us would be here. Isn't it obvious how fate is now conspiring to overtake us both, to grind us beneath her wheels? We must see this through, lest people like you continue to evolve and destabilize society. Nothing more to say, Mr. Jensen?
People like me? People like me? You're not interested in saving humanity, Darrow, no matter how loud you shout it. This is about jealousy, pure and simple. Everything you're doing today is in service to your wounded ego. Because you can't stand anyone leaving you behind.
I never said that! Mr. Jensen, please! You think you have the measure of me, don't you? That I'm some common criminal you can bully into submission. Go on then. Beat the codes out of me. Lash out and prove me right about you and what augmentations have done to you.
You can't have the future, so no one can, is that it? Open your eyes, Darrow. Look at what your obsession is doing to the world. When all of this is over, nothing will be left but anarchy and fear, smoldering in the ashes of burning cities. How can anything be rebuilt from that?
No, that's not what I wanted. There must be something left, some hope of renewal. Because without hope, there is nothing. I will give you what you want, Mr. Jensen. Codes to shut down Panchaea's security system. But you'll still be in danger. Much of the system is self-determining and lethal. When you see it, maybe then you'll understand. The technology I created will not be the future any one of us desires. Please, help the world understand that. Put that away. The codes should help you shut down the Hyron project, Panchaea's security system. When you see it, you will understand. There is no room for this technology in the world. Do not let me keep you. Use the codes and shut down the signal. When you do, the fate of the world will be in your hands. Do not let me keep you. Use the codes and shut down the signal. When you do, the fate of the world will be in your hands.
Richard, the lockdown's disengaged. I'm heading back to the hangar to see if those blast doors are open. Have you been able to raise anyone?
I'm picking up several glimmers, but there's too much interference. I think you're on your own, Jensen.
Careful there, Francis. You almost sound like you regret that.
don't need to control. Who are you? No! You won't get me! Closer! Come! Closer! Just let me finish! Just let me finish! I got a job to do! I got a job! They were all against me! Had no choice. It was for their own good. Go away, Ghost! Go away! No! You don't scare me! I don't want it. Okay, right here. We're gonna go around. Just let me finish! I got a job to do! I know. Get away from me! Okay. Go. I can't hear it. Get him out. What are you doing? I don't want it. Shut up! Stay away. Stay away from me. Get up. Get away from me. Get away. Get away from me. Okay. It was just in your head. Stay in control, damn it. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Show yourself! Monster! What are you doing?
Access granted. Real! Not real! Not real! No! Just let me finish! Just let me finish! I got a job to do! I got a job! No! You won't get me! You won't get me! Stay up. Just let me finish! Just let me finish!
This is William Taggart. If anyone out there is listening, I'm begging you, help. We've barricaded ourselves inside the core server room. Many of us are wounded. Please, save us. Please, save us.
Won't let me sneak. I see you, sneaker. Dead. Dead. Dead.
I'm running! How do you expect me to catch? Dude!
Get away from me!
Ow! Ow!
Stand still. Stand still!
Access granted.
Let me finish! I got a job to do! I gotta stop!
No. Get together. Go.
Stop running! I've got to do this! Get away! Get away! You're the monster! It's your You scare me. You're not even there. Get away. Go. I know. Kill you all. I'm gonna kill you all. Quiet. I can't think with all that noise. It's happening. You're the one. Get away. Get away. Ah! Get away! Get away! Ah! Ah! Get away! Get away! Ah! 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 Ah!
Access granted. Access granted.
How did you manage to avoid being affected by the signal? Were you in on it with that bastard, Darrow? Now the governments of the world will finally realize that every one of you should be shut down and disassembled. This technology needs to be shoved back in its box. Now the governments of the world will finally realize that every one of you...
You seem to be unaffected by the signal that Darrow is broadcasting. I suppose that is a military adaptation? We've dabbled in something we shouldn't have, and look at the result.
That Hugh Darrow is a monster! Such a tragedy. In the right hands, this technology could have helped so many people. If I hadn't made up my mind long ago, this would prove to me that augmentation technology should be under strict controls.
Get away! Just get away! I saw what you people did. You killed them all!
You even killed each other! It was a massacre! People were pleading on their knees, crying for mercy! And they were all murdered by you augmented monsters! Just go!
Mr. Jensen, how ironic that you should be the one to save us from the monsters out there.
Monsters, Taggart? You mean people. Augmented people who've lost all control, lost their reason.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Unfortunately, it seems your esteemed Mr. Darrow decided to appropriate my point and turn it back on me. In madness and in blood. He has betrayed us all.
So you finally admit it. You are part of this, after all. You have been all along.
It would be pointless to deny anything now, but despite what you think of us, we never wanted augmentations outlawed. All we've ever sought is regulation, rules governing how the technology is developed, and laws that ensure its use for the good of society.
You've raised society above humanity. So who gets to make those rules?
Men with wisdom, strength, and tenacity to know what's right. Proven leaders who distinguish themselves, like you, Mr. Jensen. You've certainly earned the right to be one of us. All you have to do is take it.
I'm not looking for glory, Taggart.
Just remember that without control, there's no room for freedom, only anarchy. You were a policeman once. You know the importance of order.
I know there's a difference between order and slavery.
The biochip wasn't supposed to force people to do anything. It merely limited powers so that people couldn't go on killing sprees like the ones taking place right now.
Amazing how well that worked out.
Say what you will, but I know that some part of you agrees with me. Absolute freedom is no different than absolute chaos. Society needs boundaries if it has any hope of surviving. And you, Mr. Jensen, can be the one to give us that hope. Shut down Darrow's signal. Then help me get a message out saying that an accident at VersaLife contaminated the world's neuropozyne supply.
VersaLife? And what if I decided to blame the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is just a name to get rich financiers to invest more money. Besides, do you really think the world will believe in some 18th century conspiracy theory? Do this for us, and you'll ensure a future for mankind, all of mankind, augmented or otherwise. The future Hugh Darrow offers doesn't allow for both.
Let me think about it. of this is as much your fault as it is Darrow's. You and your cabal.
Perhaps. But all we sought was a safety valve, Mr. Jensen. A means of making sure the world would never spin out of control. The potential of this technology is great, but as we've seen, its potential for destruction is even greater.
Your doomsday scenario doesn't impress me. You'd say anything to stay in power.
Do you think humanity will simply police itself? We do not live in some Eden, Mr. Jensen. Or are you that much like your boss, David Seraph, who envisions a world where everyone is enhanced and suddenly they all love each other? There will always be a need for methods of control.
And conveniently, in your future, the Illuminati will hold the reins.
Not directly. There are organizations already in place that are better equipped to handle certain things. The UN, for instance.
Reimagined, no doubt.
At least somewhat. And this technology will be a great part of it. Imagine, Mr. Jensen, a world governed by common principles. The end to international power struggles, to terrorism. These things can be accomplished if you join us. Stop the signal broadcast and get the word out, Mr. Jensen. Remember, Darrow's vision would set us back for centuries. There will always be a need for boundaries. Without them, society collapses. There will always be a need for boundaries. Without them, society collapses.
I can't tell what's real anymore. What's happening to me?
Anybody there? Can you hear me? I've got survivors here. We've locked ourselves in the machine room. Please! Help us! Who's there? What's there?
Just let me finish! I got a job to do! I got a job!
I won't hurt you. I just want to talk. Show yourself! You boy, you don't! I'm running! I didn't expect me to catch! I'm closer!
Access granted.
Stop tormenting me! I can hear you!
Get off him! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get out! Get out! I won't let them take over. Get away from...
Don't!
What are you doing here? Don't! Do I know you? You're Sarah's boy, aren't you? Jensen. Are you here to stop the carnage? Someone needs to take charge here. I can only imagine what's going on around the globe. This is going to be a death blow to the biotech industry. I can only imagine what's going on.
I was so scared. I heard two of them coming around the corner, tearing at each other. I just dropped to the floor and played dead. One of them ripped the other one's arm off and beat him to death with it. I thought for sure I was going to be next, but he never noticed me.
How could Darrow turn his back on us? This technology was his baby. It was his passion that made me believe in its possibilities. He's ruined it all. The world will turn its back on us. The industry will collapse and the world will be poorer for it.
Why? Why would Hugh Darrow do such a thing? There's nothing to be gained by causing so much pain and terror. All those poor people. They must be so frightened.
Tell me you're here to rescue us? Oh my god. I had to crawl through the ventilation to avoid the carnage. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen. They were completely out of control, like wild animals.
Adam! Oh, thank God you came. I've got wounded here. We'll have to move them first.
We can't move anyone yet. Not until I get to the base of the station and shut down Darrow's broadcast.
What? Why?
The chaos you experienced here, it's everywhere. The Illuminati created a biochip that stops people from using enhanced abilities, and Darrow turned it into a kill switch.
Oh my God, you... We gotta fix this, Adam. If people realize what's happened, if they believe augmentation technology created this chaos, they'll ban human enhancement research forever.
And that would be a bad thing.
Yes, it would! Don't you see what's at stake here? Ever since man first crawled out of that ocean, we've been striving to be more than we are. Augmentation technology is just the latest, greatest step on a very long road. But we've barely scratched the surface of its potential. We can't let fear stop us from continuing.
That's your belief, Seraph. Not everyone shares it.
But you do, Adam. I know it. And if we work together, we can really make a difference. We can improve the lives of everyone, but only if we fix this.
Go on.
We'd have to get a message out after you shut down Hugh's signal. Tell the world, tell them the Humanity Front did this. That their doctors created a virus that only affects augmented people.
You mean lie?
It'll give us time, son. Time to figure out how to destroy the Illuminati's biochips and move on.
And what about the people who've been hurt by this? Don't they deserve the truth?
Adam, if we want the freedom to become more than we are, we can't be blinded by a misguided morality. Some people will be left behind. It's reality. It's evolution, son.
Right. Evolution based on my DNA.
Please, son, you have to stay with me on this.
I'll think about it. You've got no remorse about using me at all, do you?
I never used you, son.
You experimented with my DNA without telling me.
Adam, this is difficult. Listen. Megan came to me with the sample. When she showed me her finding, when we saw the incredible potential of super compatibility...
You just had to share it with the world.
Adam, think about it. Would you have been able to do any of the things you've done without enhancements? Huh? Most people's bodies aren't as accepting of this technology as yours is. Sharing your DNA makes it possible for us to be like you. How can you deny us that chance?
Who said I would deny it? You stole my DNA and lied to me. You didn't give me the choice.
I'm giving it to you now, Adam. Look, I admit it. I haven't done things the best way. But don't punish the world to spite me. Darrow wants us to live in the Dark Ages. The Illuminati wants to limit evolution to those they control. You and me, we...
Don't group me with you, Seraph. I'll make my own choices from here.
I believe that, son. And I believe you'll make the right ones. I know blaming Humanity Front leaves a sour taste in your mouth, but it's the only way out of this. So go. The longer that signal broadcasts, the harder it'll be to convince people. Think of it, son. A world where we determine our own path, where there's no limits to human achievement? How can you not want that?
Think of it, son. A world where we determine our own path, where there's no limits.
happening again. Don't run. It'll be much easier. They ruined me. The bastards ruined me. Don't be difficult. This is the best. Stop running! I've got to do this!
What the hell? Oh my God.
Water pressure nominal at 173 psi.
Who am I?
Communications web online.
I feel cold.
Drones 1 through 3 within operational parameters.
I don't remember.
Drone 4 disconnected.
Let me go.
Processing.
Oh God, please help me. I'm scared.
Pod temperature stable. Processing.
Zhao, what are you doing?
Connecting to Panchaea's Haron project, Mr. Jensen. The most advanced quantum computer slave to the human brain, and the closest to perfection we'll ever achieve. I'm going to use it to hack Darrow's signal and rework the message to our benefit.
Our benefit? You mean the Illuminati's?
Someone has to override the signal and be the world's savior. And let's be honest, neither of us would trust anyone else to fill that role. Computer, begin EEG sync.
So much pain. Syncing beta waves at 40 cycles per second.
Sleep, please. Let me sleep.
Incompatible master-slave chain detected. Alert. Unable to transfer control to Alpha Pod.
The system won't recognize my chip.
Neural systems offline. Rerouting control of the gene.
I can't control Iron!
Increasing glutamators by 32%.
Zhao, get them out of there. I have to reach the control chamber.
No! I can still control it! I'm in control!
Stop the signal!
Security alert.
Through the primary control hatch.
Oh, shit.
Alpha Pod security in place. To access Alpha Pod, purge tertiary pods.
Alter the signal! Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms!
No! Protect Mother! Stay away! Stay away! Madness! Dear, your Majesty wants to kill us. Kill him.
You have been better served keeping your head down, Jensen.
Pod 3 safety purge in.
Mother, just don't hurt anymore. Just no more pain. Please keep him away from us. Security measures are sufficient. Insufficient.
Once the weight of their gaze touches you, there is no escape.
Hydrostatic pressure rising. Can't breathe. It hurts. It hurts so much. Systems are. My organic systems under stress will apologize.
You see where honor and ambition lead you? To a hole miles deep in the ocean, about to meet your end. I'm powerless.
Diagnostic warning. Pod 3 life sign.
Look at what they've done. I don't like it here. This is failing. Like it.
Error in system.
Iron is weakening.
Rerouting connection.
I am regaining control. I must.
Reroute complete. Warning. Pod contamination warning. Pod 1 access hatch contamination warning.
ACH
pod security in place. To access Alpha Pod, purge tertiary pod.
I must be the one to alter the signal. Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms.
Warning. Pod 3.
No! Mother! Stay away! Stay away! The bad man is here. Why does he want to kill us? Kill him.
You have been better served keeping your head down, Jensen.
No! Wait! Stop! I'll do my systems. Don't hurt anymore. Just no more pain. Please keep him away from us. Systems failing.
Error in system.
Iron is weakening.
Rerouting connection.
Regaining control. I must.
Reroute complete. Pod 2. Safety code complete.
The static pressure rising. Can't breathe. It hurts. It hurts so much. The systems are. My organic systems under stress will acclimatize.
Alpha Pod security. In place. To access Alpha Pod, purge tertiary pods.
I must be the one to alter the signal. Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms.
No! Protect Mother! Stay away! Stay away! The bad man is here. Why does he want to kill us? Kill him. System failing.
You have been better served keeping your head down.
Stop!
Diagnostic order.
I'll do it, Mother. Please don't hurt it. Stop! No more pain. Please keep.
Error in system.
Iron is weakening.
Rerouting connection.
Regaining control. I must.
Error in system. Rerouting connection. Reroute complete. Warning.
The static pressure rising.
Warning. Tertiary pods off. Primary security disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above.
I must be the one to alter the signal. Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms.
No! Protect Mother! Stay away! Stay away! The bad man is here. Why does he want to kill us? Kill him. Wait!
You have been better served keeping your head down.
Error in system.
Iron is weakening.
Rerouting connection.
Regaining control. I must.
Reroute complete. Contamination. Pod 2 access.
Once the weight of their gaze touches you, there is no escape.
Warning. Pod 2 safety code.
The static pressure rising.
Rerouting connection. Reroute complete. Contamination
a whole mile deep in the ocean, about to meet your end. I'm powerless.
Warning. Tertiary pods are offline. Primary security measures disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above normal levels rising. Preparing for discharge sequence.
Do you see where honor and ambition lead you? To a whole mile deep in the ocean.
Warning. Tertiary pods are offline. Primary security measures disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above normal levels and rising. Preparing for discharge sequencing. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
It's happening! It's gone from us! No! Wait! It's initiating emergency protocols! Ah! You don't know the resources they have at their disposal, Jimmy! Like special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time! Initiate dissipation protocol! There is no way you can defeat this system. There is nothing you can do to stop it.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical rising. Halfway to discharge sequence.
Do you see where honor and ambition lead you? To a whole mile deep in the ocean.
Tertiary pods are offline. Primary security measures disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above normal levels and rising. Preparing for discharge sequencing. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
It's happening! It's gone from us! No! Wait! It's initiating emergency protocols! Ah! You don't know the resources they have at their disposal, Jensen! Despite your special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time! Initiate dissipation protocol! There is no way you can defeat the system. There are nothing you can do. Do you see where honor and ambition lead you?
Tertiary pods are offline. Primary security measures disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above normal levels and rising. Preparing for discharge sequencing. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
It's happening! It's gone from us!
Oh, no! Wait!
Do you see where honor and ambition lead you? To a whole mile deep in the ocean, about to meet your end. I'm powerless.
Look at what you've done! Tertiary pods are offline. Primary security measures disabled. Power surge detected. Electrical charge above normal levels and rising. Preparing for discharge sequencing. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
It's happening! It's gone from us! No! Wait! It's initiating emergency protocols! You don't know the resources they have at their disposal, Jensen. Despite your special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol. There is no way you can defeat this. There is nothing you can do to stop.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Halfway to discharge sequence. Warning. Primary pod compromised. Secondary security measures activated. Evacuate area.
You still cannot reach me, Jensen. There are too many contingencies built into the system. You and I have both failed.
Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Eliza? What are you doing here?
It is my job to monitor and report on the news, Adam.
Before Darrow smothered everything with his signal, the whole world was tuned into this place, including me.
The broadcast. I have to stop it.
I know. Please, come closer. Do you know where we are, Adam? We are at the fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance. Hugh Darrow hoped to tip the scales one way, by telling the world everything you already know. About the biochip, the Illuminati, everything. He believed knowing the truth would convince mankind to abandon research into human enhancement technologies forever.
It would certainly give them reason to fear it.
Indeed. Darrow's confession is ready to send. If you want, I can wideband it across all media as soon as you shut down the signal. Everything you worked so hard to uncover will be exposed. But only if you deactivate the broadcast using this control. However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message. Conceal the creation of the biochip while putting in new content.
Content blaming the Humanity Front, like Sarif suggested.
The organization has already admitted to harboring terrorists. It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects of corporate negligence firsthand, a majority of people might force the world to place harsh restrictions on all human enhancement research. But only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own? If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, first-hand experience with corporate negligence on such a grand scale may convince mankind to enact harsh restrictions on human enhancement research.
Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, first-hand experience with corporate negligence on such a grand scale may convince mankind to enact harsh restrictions on human enhancement research. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Freedom. To those who don't have it, it's more valuable than gold. But where should it start and end? We humans often think we have the right to expand, absorb, convert, or possess anything we need to reach our dreams. But time and time again, hasn't this led to conflicts with others who essentially believe the same thing? How often, in my desire to reach a goal, did I put my needs first, ignoring others or causing senseless pain simply because something stood in my way? Didn't I often act coldly, becoming a destructive force that lost touch with my humanity along the way? I got what I wanted, sure, but at what cost to others around me? That's what Taggart is worried about. He's not afraid of freedom. He's afraid of the chaos that erupts when individuals have nothing but a weak grasp on morality to constrain them. He wants to regulate human enhancement technologies because he fears all that power, without limits, without guide rails to keep us from abusing it. Absolute freedom is no better than chaos. Society needs laws and regulations to protect it. So if the men and women behind Taggart need to work in the shadows, pulling strings to enable us to head in a safe direction, will supporting them be all that bad? If they're as wise as Taggart says, how bad will their leadership be? I just hope they stand by what they say.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Sarif was right about one thing. It's in our nature to want to rise above our limits. Think about it. We were cold, so we harnessed fire. We were weak, so we invented tools. Every time we met an obstacle, we used creativity and ingenuity to overcome it. The cycle is inevitable, but will the outcome always be good? Sarif believed so, but my own experience makes me wonder. These past few months, I've been tested many times, and too often I chose to inflict suffering when challenged, even though I had alternatives. I reacted selfishly, abusing power and resources to accomplish my goals, and I lost my humanity along the way. But perhaps selfishness is the one limit I've yet to overcome. Given time and ingenuity, perhaps man's willingness to improve will turn out to be stronger than any evil we create. One thing is obvious. For the first time in history, we have a chance to steal fire from the gods. To turn away from it now, to stop pursuing a future in which technology and biology combine, leading to the promise of a singularity, would mean to deny the very essence of who we are. No doubt the road to get there will be bumpy, hurting some people along the way. But won't achieving the dream be worth it? We can become the gods we've always been striving to be. We might as well get good at it.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Albert Einstein said, technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Took me a while, but I finally see his point. How often have we chased the dream of progress only to see it perverted? More often than not, haven't the machines we built to improve life shattered the lives of millions? And now we want to turn that dream on ourselves to fundamentally improve who we are. Experience has shown me how dangerous that can be. When facing difficult choices, how often did I take the easiest path, abusing technologies and resources at hand in order to accomplish my goals? If other people needed my help or simply stood in my way, did I not callously and systematically discount them? Technology gave me the power to achieve what I wanted, but I was blind to the suffering I caused. Darrow understood this. He knew that using technology to become something more than we are risks losing our ability to love, aspire, or make moral choices, the very things that make us human. It also risks giving some men the power to make others what they choose, regardless of the cost to human dignity. The suffering Darrow inflicted is not the end of the world. It is merely the seed for change. And change never comes without pain.
You worry too much, Morgan. There's nothing we can't manage given time. She's here. I have to cut this short. Keep going through the wreckage. Maybe we'll find something we can use for the Morpheus initiative. Come in! Dr. Reed! We're so pleased you decided to join us.
Where else could I go?
No regrets, my dear. As Ariadne told Theseus before he entered the Minotaur's labyrinth, always forward, never left or right. You'll be very interested in our current project. We're breaking new ground.
Yes, the nanite virus chimera is quite intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing the hybrid project up close, Mr. Page.
And so you shall. But please, call me Bob.
If you do this, first-hand experience with corporate negligence on such a grand scale may convince mankind to enact harsh restrictions on human enhancement research. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Freedom. To those who don't have it, it's more valuable than gold. But where should it start and end? We humans often think we have the right to expand, absorb, convert, or possess anything we need to reach our dreams. But time and time again, hasn't this led to conflicts with others who essentially believe the same thing? How often, in my desire to reach a goal, did I put my needs first, ignoring others or causing senseless pain simply because something stood in my way? Didn't I often act coldly, becoming a destructive force that lost touch with my humanity along the way? I got what I wanted, sure, but at what cost to others around me? That's what Taggart is worried about. He's not afraid of freedom. He's afraid of the chaos that erupts when individuals have nothing but a weak grasp on morality to constrain them. He wants to regulate human enhancement technologies because he fears all that power, without limits, without guide rails to keep us from abusing it. Absolute freedom is no better than chaos. Society needs laws and regulations to protect it. So if the men and women behind Taggart need to work in the shadows, pulling strings to enable us to head in a safe direction, will supporting them be all that bad? If they're as wise as Taggart says, how bad will their leadership be? I just hope they stand by what they say.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Albert Einstein said, technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Took me a while, but I finally see his point. How often have we chased the dream of progress only to see it perverted? More often than not, haven't the machines we built to improve life shattered the lives of millions? And now we want to turn that dream on ourselves to fundamentally improve who we are. Experience has shown me how dangerous that can be. When facing difficult choices, how often did I take the easiest path, abusing technologies and resources at hand in order to accomplish my goals? If other people needed my help or simply stood in my way, did I not callously and systematically discount them? Technology gave me the power to achieve what I wanted, but I was blind to the suffering I caused. Darrow understood this. He knew that using technology to become something more than we are risks losing our ability to love, aspire, or make moral choices, the very things that make us human. It also risks giving some men the power to make others what they choose, regardless of the cost to human dignity. The suffering Darrow inflicted is not the end of the world. is merely the seed for change. And change never comes without pain.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Sarif was right about one thing. It's in our nature to want to rise above our limits. Think about it. We were cold, so we harnessed fire. We were weak, so we invented tools. Every time we met an obstacle, we used creativity and ingenuity to overcome it. The cycle is inevitable, but will the outcome always be good? Sarif believed so, but my own experience makes me wonder. These past few months, I've been tested many times, and too often I chose to inflict suffering when challenged, even though I had alternatives. I reacted selfishly, abusing power and resources to accomplish my goals. And I lost my humanity along the way. But perhaps selfishness is the one limit I've yet to overcome. Given time and ingenuity, perhaps man's willingness to improve will turn out to be stronger than any evil we create. One thing is obvious. For the first time in history, we have a chance to steal fire from the gods. To turn away from it now, to stop pursuing a future in which technology and biology combine, leading to the promise of a singularity, would mean to deny the very essence of who we are. No doubt the road to get there will be bumpy, hurting some people along the way. But won't achieving the dream be worth it? We can become the gods we've always been striving to be. We might as well get good at it.